Hello, I'm Dr. Goad. I am your professor for this course, and throughout this course, I'm going to do some of these narrated PowerPoint videos, but this is not the same PowerPoint. It contains slides from the PowerPoint that you have the full one, but I'm just going to hit the highlights and tell you a little bit more um, and my perspective and try to keep these videos to about 10 minutes or less. So the first chapter is really just covering kind of what is marketing, what is marketing all about, where we've come across marketing management philosophies, etc. Just getting you familiar with marketing because I realized that you could be any major in the College of Business. So it's really important that you understand not just what marketing is, but how it fits into the overall um, business strategy. So we are, whether you know it or not, are familiar with marketing. You've seen advertisements. You may have been sold to. Um, you may have received things in the mail or email or text messages. And every day people are making buying decisions. At the heart of marketing is exchange. And so you have probably been involved in selling decisions, buying decisions. Um, but the thing to know is like marketing isn't easy. Doing it right and making a profit is not easy. So with marketing is selling. And I'm partial to selling because I teach the sales classes here at UCO, or many of them. And you need to know about marketing as well as selling because you're going to have to sell yourself. You're going to have to sell yourself in an interview to get into grad school, to get a promotion at work, even if you're in accounting to get new clients. There's a lot of marketing going on in selling that you may not realize. And so I think this course will help you to understand how marketing fits within an organization and how to market yourself to get to the point you desire in your career or in your life. So you can read here, but marketing is really about value and delivering that value to customers. So helping them achieve their goals. So in marketing, you want to understand what the needs and wants are of your customer, and then how do you go about satisfying them. And then I mentioned marketing's about exchange. So that's about trade. So in the very beginning of time, when people just exchange things, you're setting what's the value of something. And if I exchange one thing for another, am I better off? So if I'm exchanging, let's say, eggs for a loaf of bread, how many eggs are in the value of a loaf of bread? So this is a really good figure for you to look at to just get into more depth about how marketing relates to other departments within an organization as well as external forces. So you have commonly within an organization R&D, HR, manufacturing or operations, finance, marketing, IT, and senior management. But really, at the center of everything beyond senior management is the customer. And how do I satisfy the needs of the customer with the products or services that I offer? And do that more so in a way or in a better way than my competition. So, how does marketing occur? It says right here on the slide, you have to have someone that has a need that has not been satisfied. So someone hasn't bought your product, someone needs your product. You have to have someone interested in being satisfied. You have to have someone that wants to buy your product and you want to sell your product. And there's communication involved. And then at the heart of it, there's not a value, there's a service or a product that you're exchanging. Again, a key concept in marketing is exchange. So we'll talk about later on, but marketing research is a huge piece of marketing, especially to understand what consumers want or need. And in particular, when you're rebranding a product, launching a new product, etc. This is just more on that, on the 4 P's of marketing. So one thing that we're gonna learn about throughout this semester is the 4 P's of marketing. So that's the product, that's the price. So the product itself, product or service, the pricing of it, promotion of it, which involves also selling, and place or distribution. I'm going to stop for just a second. So what this slide is talking about is different marketing management philosophies. And so when it talks about the production area, it's talking about the concept marketing management philosophy of a production orientation. In a production orientation, the idea is that you make what you're good at and you sell it. So for example, a Model T Ford. No customization, I just make what I'm good at and I sell it. Then you have the sales era, and this I think is a little bit mislabeled because we're always in an era where there is selling, but this really should be labeled selling orientation. So the marketing management philosophy of selling orientation is about sales volume. And the idea is I have a product or service and I sell as much as I can to everyone I can. The downfall with that is, and this is where the stereotypical used car salesman kind of comes into play. The downfall is normally the salesperson's aggressive and pushy, and they're selling you something whether you need it or not. So if you remember what we talked about before, need is an important factor. In a selling orientation, I'm really not factoring in needs. And so as a long-term goal, that is not, or if I'm trying to have a long-term relationship and profitability, selling orientation does not work. Then in really what I'm familiar with is kind of like the, in terms of research, like early 90s, where the market orientation concept came about, that we really do need to provide our customers value and look at where their problems or issues are and meet their needs and understand their needs. And customer relationship or customer orientation is just an offshoot of that market orientation concept that says, I need to understand my customer and understand them in order to discover their needs and be able to meet their needs through my product or service. So why it became important? Because this is, well, the economy is very consumer driven. And the business side is driven off of consumer demand. And value has become increasingly important and establishing that value for your customer. So establishing to them value is about, how am I going to help solve your problems and make your life better? So that is where we're at in terms of the short narration for chapter 1. Come back for chapter 2.